You open Claude, paste in a task, and hit enter. Claude gives you something back, and it's surface level, generic, not quite what you wanted. You clean it up yourself, and now you're spending more time correcting AI than AI is doing the work for you. Here's what's really happening. Instead of taking the opportunity to use an AI agent, you're actually just having a conversation with AI. And that's a real missed opportunity too many people are missing. In this video, I'm going to show you what a real agent actually is, why it's different from chat, and how to build one inside Claude with no code or developer skills needed, just Claude Cowork and a folder on your computer. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build your own AI agent inside Claude, and you'll be one of the few people who actually knows how. Starting with the thing most people don't even realize exists. Before we get into this, I'd like to give credit where credit's due. A viewer named Anthony left a comment describing exactly this kind of work. And although this video is built directly around Anthony's situation, it applies to you too. If you've tried using Claude for something you do regularly at work, you've probably noticed that sometimes it comes out exactly right. Sometimes it doesn't. Well, it isn't you doing something wrong. It's a structural problem. You're often asking Claude to guess what you want, and this too often just creates poor output. This is why the gap between chatting with AI and actually running an agent matters more than it looks. Recent workplace research from McKinsey and Slack found that people actually running agents in their work are getting back about 6.5 hours a week. That's what's happening right now for those people who moved past chat. But for those who haven't, it's not that AI doesn't work for them, they're just one level below where the payoff starts. After 20 years of teaching complex ideas and hundreds of hours of testing AI tools, I've realized that most people aren't struggling with AI. They're struggling because they never stopped chatting and started building. I built my first version of this early on. Claude started understanding who I was, what my business was about, all of it. That file keeps evolving. Every significant change or addition to my business becomes part of it. That file is called your CLAUDE.md file, and it makes all the difference in the world. Here's why that file matters so much. It's the difference between 3 completely different ways of working with AI. Most people use Claude at level 1, basic chat. You ask a question, Claude answers. Level 2 is builder mode. You stop asking questions and start asking Claude to make things, but you're still managing every step yourself. Level 3 is where a real agent lives. You hand Claude a goal, a complete outcome, and it figures out how to get there. You set the destination, hand over the wheel, and the agent drives. You only step back if it hits a fork in the road it can't call on its own. The good news is that Claude Cowork already has what you need built in. The only thing you need to supply is a folder for it to work in. Claude can save files there, read your documents, and keep everything organized. That's it. And the single most important file in that workspace is the one I mentioned earlier, and the one most people skip entirely. It's your CLAUDE.md file. This is a simple but powerful text file that Claude reads automatically every time it starts working for you. Here's the minimum of what goes into this file. Project context, what this workspace is for. About you, who you are, who your audience is, what tone you want. Rules, the preferences you're tired of repeating, and folder structure. That's the minimum. Mine looks nothing like that anymore. It's grown for months. Every change in my business becomes part of it. And this is what it looks like after it's had time to evolve. The fastest way to build this yourself is to open Claude and simply say, help me make my own CLAUDE.md file. Start by asking me questions. It'll interview you and build it right there. But if this file is going to run real parts of your actual job, it's worth building properly. I'll show you exactly how at the end of this video. Remember Anthony's comment from the start of this video? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build. It's one system that takes raw behavior data and turns it into 3 finished pieces of work: patterns spotted, improvement plans drafted, and a weekly report ready for a team meeting. Not 3 separate tools, one agent moving through a pipeline of 3 stages, start to finish. First, I'll describe the workflow I want in plain English. Second, Claude turns that into a saved file I can reuse. Third, once those details are locked in, I run it on real notes and watch the agent carry the whole thing through all 3 stages on its own. One quick note before we start: you can type all of this in Claude Cowork if you want, but I don't. Instead, I use typeless. I just talk to my computer's microphone and it turns that into text, which is so much faster and way more thorough than typing it out by hand. There's a link in the description if you want to try it. And just so you know, that's an affiliate link, so I earn a small commission if you sign up at no extra cost to you. Another thing worth mentioning is that you don't need to have this fully figured out. Claude Cowork works as your partner and your guide through the entire process. If you're not sure what your phases should be or how to structure any of it, just tell Claude what you're trying to accomplish and ask it to help you figure out the workflow. It matters that we design this before touching any real data, because if you skip that part, Claude goes into this essentially guessing, and guessing is essentially what creates generic output. So to get an agent that holds up, you need an instruction that puts every phase up front. And that's what we're doing right now. Here's what I actually told Claude. Design a workflow with 3 phases. Find the patterns in the incident notes, draft a consistent improvement plan for anyone flagged, then turn the team's meeting notes into a weekly report. 3 phases, 1 instruction in plain English. And you can do the same thing for your specific agent. Describe your phases and tell Claude to show you the plan before it builds anything. But Claude didn't just jump straight into a plan. It asked me 4 quick questions first, forcing me to get specific instead of vague. Exact severity level, exact number of stages, exact pattern window, and what to name the file. That's the real difference. A few short answers and the workflow runs on actual numbers. It also found my sample files already sitting in the resources folder and used the real data structure to ground the plan before I'd even told it to run anything. Claude comes back with a plan built around those specific rules: a pattern and severity review, a staged improvement plan for anyone flagged, and a weekly report pulling from both the review and the meeting notes. So, to make this reusable, this plan has to become an actual file, one that Claude can read on its own without me having to repeat anything. And that's what we're doing next. It creates it and names it something like Behavior Review Agent.md inside the Workflows folder. When I open that file, you can see the operating instructions for my agent, written in plain language, fully editable, reusable every time a new set of data comes in. This is the part that actually proves whether any of this is worth building. So to find if a workflow can carry itself, I need to give it real data and then step back. That's what we're about to do. I just tell Claude to run the behavior review agent workflow and point it to the incident log and the meeting notes. And that's it. No more questions this time, because the workflow already knows the rules. It goes straight to work. Here's what came back. 7 students flagged, each sorted into their right tier automatically. 1 escalated, most at an early check-in, and 1 flagged for awareness only instead of treated as an ongoing problem. Exactly the judgment call I wanted. Now, here's a real question people usually ask at this point. Do you have to come back and run this yourself every time, or does it just happen? Actually, both are options, and it depends on how you want to work. If you leave it as is, running it again is simple. You open a new session, tell Claude which workflow file to use, and give it the new input. But if you're running this every week anyway, don't do it by hand. Schedule it. Tell Claude to schedule it. Give it the timing, Monday morning, whatever fits. Just keep your incident notes somewhere Claude can reach them on its own, like Google Drive, not just sitting on your laptop. Once it's scheduled, it runs itself. No login, no remembering, but you do need to keep Claude Cowork open on your computer. Now, before I show you the mistake that trips up most people building an agent, if you found this video helpful so far, please give it a like or comment. It really does help this channel. Also, if you'd like to see more content just like this, click subscribe. Pro tip, here's the mistake that kills most agent builds. It's not actually reading the plan before you approve it. Remember how Claude showed you its plan before running the workflow? That pause matters. Skip past it and you're letting the agent guess its way through several steps instead of one. 2 minutes to review up front saves you 10 minutes of cleanup. Now you know how to create an agent the right way. And the fastest way to start is just ask Claude to help. But if you're one of the people I mentioned earlier where getting this right actually matters, I built something more thorough for that. It's called the Professional AI Interview Kit. It runs a much deeper interview, built to produce a CLAUDE.md file you truly trust with your real work. Links in the description if you want that upgrade. Now that you've got an agent running, here's the real question. Is it actually built well, or is it doing the bare minimum and getting away with it? Most agents that people build have a few missing pieces they don't notice until something breaks. If you want to check whether yours is one of those, watch this video next.